What's up, everyone? Your Auntie Lexi's here. A lot of people told me that Pokopia is basically Dragon Quest Builders 3. I literally bought this one based off of the analogy alone. And when I got to the title screen and saw Koei Tecmo's name credited, I found peace in knowing that Dragon Quest Builders developers also worked on Pokopia. And, slowly but surely, as I played through the initial moments of the game, menial questions start to get answered, like, does this game have blocky terrain like in Builders? The answer is yes, by the way. But the more I played the game, the more that I found myself disconnecting from it. And the actual differences between Pokopia and Dragon Quest Builders began to surface. Building habitats for your Pokemon by just plopping down items right next to each other just doesn't compare to trying to authentically recreate the pixelized buildings found in previous Dragon Quest games. It just hits different. And yet, for all my grumbles, I found myself clawing back to Pokopia. Now, at the time, I was juggling a whole bunch of games alongside it. Games like Resident Evil Requiem, Monster Hunter Stories 3, and Death Stranding Director's Cut, to name a few. All great games. But after a long day of work, whenever I try to think about playing any of those games, my mind immediately went to how involved these games were, which contrasted with the kind of experience I wanted at that very moment. So, every day after work, I'd jump back into Pokopia just for a little bit, just to maybe accomplish one thing or two. I'd check my requests, see what kind of challenges I needed or wanted to do, and simply do them. This made me think of Dragon Quest Builders again, as the analogy had already been ingrained in my mind. I thought about how Builders' quests were quite involved, often requiring you to venture far and away from your town that you're building. I also remember spending an hour and a half fortifying my town, really my base, just so that incoming hordes wouldn't destroy it. In Pokopia, things just felt simpler, and the rewards came much quicker. Granted, I don't actually know if there are genuine perils in the game. I'm still very early in it. And there was that one time that I had to follow Slowpoke because it wanted to see the professor, but it just felt like I was actually making progress in Pokopia, which lends itself to the satisfaction I felt after finishing a game session with it. And soon enough, making new habitats to discover new Pokemon started becoming fun. And as someone who doesn't consider herself a huge fan of the series, I slowly started to learn who and what these Pokemon are capable of. In addition to some of them teaching you new Pokemon abilities, I also found it entertaining, though slightly annoying, that some of the Pokemon acted as refineries for some of the material processing. Like Scyther, who can make lumber out of small logs. You basically have to give it a stack and then wait for a few minutes. Admittedly, I did get annoyed having to wait for this, but that's just when I reminded myself, okay, Lexi, this isn't Dragon Quest Builders, and that's okay. But what is similar to Dragon Quest Builders is the sense of wonder that you get when you encounter a new area or bear witness to a brand new moment that just happens randomly. I found this building that had a built-in walkie-talkie that was asking me berries, so I gave it a bunch of berries. A random Pokemon popped up when I was trying to find another Pokemon, and I wound up building it a habitat. When I see vines these days, I immediately think to myself, how can I get to it, and what am I going to see once I climb it? And it seems like at every turn, this game just wants me to constantly learn new things, which kept it feeling fresh and new. Now, I do admit that seeing the Pokemon actually have dialogue was quite entertaining and very amusing, which gives this game a whole different dimension. And some of the little things they added, like being able to play jump rope with Bulbasaur, was something that I didn't know I wanted to do. Disclaimer, my best is only 50. And much like Dragon Quest Builders, there's this mystery of humans disappearing. Again, I'm still too early in the game to figure out anything, but this does set the stage for some very interesting finds, like relics and photos hidden in the landscape. But let's be real here for a second. I can see why people would say that Pokopia is basically Dragon Quest Builders 3. But at the same time, I approached Pokopia with the notion that this is Dragon Quest Builders, only to find some of the things that I loved about that game not present here. And now that I'm a bit further in the game, and that's not too much, I'm quite more accepting for what it is and what it offers. And while it's not the sequel to Dragon Quest Builders that I was hoping for, it sure is the fun and fulfilling cozy game that I've loved spending evenings with. And guess what I'm gonna do after this? Probably gonna play that right now. Speaking of which, are you playing Pokopia right now? Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.